Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Baxter, and today we are going to really start looking at the equations for a parabola. So hang with me because I know this is going to be all new, but we're going to build on some things that we had been talking about before we practiced yesterday and so on, okay? I don't want you to worry because we will get lots and lots of practice with using both of these forms. For today and for right now, all I want you to focus on is what we're going to call the vertex form, okay? For now, we're going to ignore this, all right? So go ahead and ignore that side. I'm just looking at the left side. So we are going to do something called the vertex form. And there are two basic forms that we can represent a parabola. Okay, parabola, there we go, which is also known as a quadratic function. Remember, y equals x squared is our very basic pattern. And so you're going to be looking at this going, wait a second, this looks nothing like y equals x squared. Well, I don't want you to worry about that. I'm also not going to have you worry about memorizing this, other than you need to know what all of this means, okay? I will give you the forms, the vertex form, the equation. So this thing that you see right here, I'm going to give this to you on your quizzes that we have from here on out. All right, so you don't need to memorize it, but you do need to know what each of these things represents and how to use that information to graph. So here is where you need to start paying attention. All right, so let's graph an example in vertex form, okay? So we have y equals ax minus h plus k. Now, I know this is going to seem kind of crazy, but your vertex, remember how we typically do in x comma y, right? Well, in vertex form, it's the same as h comma k. I want you to notice we have h here and we have k here. Now, something that's really important to notice is when you're looking at this, you're going to see a negative sign here. Do you see a negative sign here? What's different about the two of them? Well, one's negative, one's positive. So when you have a negative sign here, make sure that your h is always positive, okay? If your sign right here, sorry, I'm losing my thought here. If your sign right here is positive, then what do you think your h right here is going to be? If you said negative, you're correct. So this h right here, or your x, is going to be the opposite of what is right here, all right? This now is going to be exactly the same. If it's a positive, this is also going to be a positive, okay? All right, hang with me for right now, all right? Okay, so let's graph an example in vertex form. Well, what I love about vertex form, the name itself, vertex, tells us that the equation itself is going to give us, what do you think? Yes, the vertex. It's going to give us the vertex. So let's just look at this really quickly. I can actually look at this equation right now and make a lot of determinations without even graphing it, okay? But let's just start very simply with what is our vertex? What is this, okay? Well, going back to our equation up here, my h and k is going to be the same as x comma y. This is my vertex, okay? They translate to the same things. So looking at the equation, even though I see my y and x here, ignore that, because here is where your x is going to be, here is where your y is going to be every single time. X, y. If you want to mark a little mark on that above or below it, go right ahead. Now, the trick is, remember, with our x, what value do I put in for there? Well, it says -1, but we're going to go opposite. This is what you have to know. All right, you got to go opposite, comma, and then your y stays the same. So my vertex is 1, 1. Take a moment to look at that. 1, 1. So 1 is my x, 1 is my y. Let's go over to our graph and graph it. Okay, if my vertex is 1, 1, I'm always going to start at the center origin to count, and I'm going to count over to the right 1, that's my x-axis, and then I'm going to go up 1 on my y-axis. My vertex is right smack dab here. Now, it's going to ask me what my axis of symmetry is, but I want us to go ahead and graph this first. This is a very simple problem with the using the vertex form, okay? You'll notice if we go to this original up here, we have the letter A. And right now, there isn't a letter A. Well, this is awesome. This just means it's going to be a positive number. If you see a positive here, if you don't see a negative number, you're always going to be going in the up direction, okay? Positive is always up, negative is down. All right, so let's just go ahead and graph this. Remember, I've even put this little table down here for you. Remember how we graph our parabola? You're always going to start at the vertex. Starting at the vertex, 1, 1, 2, 4, 3, 9, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 4, 3, 9. And then they did the same thing on the other side. So use that to help you. So when we're coming back to here, right, I'm going to look at this and I'm saying, okay, I'm going to start here. I'm going to go start at my vertex and I'm going to go over 1, up 1. There's my first point. Whoops. Nope. First point is 1, 1. Okay, my second point is going to be, go back here, 2, 4. Okay, 2, 4. So let's go here. I'm going to start at my vertex, move over 1, 2, go up 1, 2, 3, 4. My next point is right here. And I won't be able to do my third point, which is fine, okay? As long as you can graph 5 points on your parabola, you will be fine, okay? And then now I'm just going to make sure I mark my parabola and go upward, okay? All right. Now, the next question is, what is my axis of symmetry? Now that I've graphed this, well, you guys remember my symmetry is right down the center, right? Which ends up crossing my number here. What's my number? 1. What's my x? 1. Axis of symmetry is equal to 1. Here's my question of the day. Is this a min or a max? Where is your vertex? Is it at the minimum point of the parabola or is that the maximum? Is it at the tallest part of your parabola? Well, if you said it's a min, you would be correct. This is at the lowest point of this parabola, all right? It doesn't matter what's going on with here and here. You're looking at your vertex. Where is that located? It's at the lowest possible point that I can graph, okay? Now, let's look at your y-intercept, okay? Where are we on our x? Well, if you remember from our conversation yesterday, you're always at 0. We're going to start 0, and we're going to go up to 2. This is where our parabola is crossing this y-axis. So our y-intercept is at 0, 2. All right, let's go ahead and try another one. Let's do example 2. Looking at here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and write this in here. Y is equal to ax minus h squared plus k. That is our format. Okay, so looking at the vertex form that's given to us, what is our vertex? Well, if our vertex is h comma k, if I look up here, this is my h. My h is, now it says plus 1, but my equation is minus, right? So I'm going to make sure I'm doing the opposite of plus 1, which would be minus 1. But then my k stays the same. So my k is negative 4. Okay, so my vertex now is negative 1, negative 4. All right, if you feel like you're getting the hang of this, go ahead and try this, pause your video, try to graph it, and come back and see if you got the same thing I did. Okay, so hopefully you got your vertex as starting at 0. I'm going to go left 1 for x and down 4. So I'm going to start my vertex right here, okay? This is where my vertex is. Now, using the t-chart, I'm going to go over 1, up 1, over 2, up 3, over 2, 3, up, oh, I'm sorry, not 3, up 4. Gosh, you guys have to, no, I'm right. No, I'm wrong. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is terrible. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And 1, 2, 3, and up 9. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I knew something was a little off. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Over 1, up 1, over 2, up 4, and over 3, up 9. So your parabola should look like that. Okay? Remember, what is our axis of symmetry? How do I cut that in half? Well, x is right here at -1. So x is equal to -1. Is this a minimum or a maximum? If you said minimum, you're correct. And where does our parabola hit the y-axis? Well, that would be right here. And so our number will be, or our coordinate will be 0, -3. And there you have it. That's graphing in vertex form on this one. Let's add in one other little thing here. Let's look at example number 3, okay? We're going to switch things up again. I'm going to teach you, we're going to add in a little bit extra something, all right? This time you're going to notice, ooh, look what we have here for our a value. We have a negative equation, okay? What this tells me is it is going down. This parabola is going down, okay? So when it's going down, take a look. What is it, a min or a max? This is going to be a max, all right? Figuring out our vertex is going to be exactly the same. I'm going to look at my value here, and I'm going to do the opposite, 2, and then I'm going to keep it the same for this one, so it would be 5. All right, again, pause the video. I want you to try to graph this on your own. Remember, we are graphing now down. You will still use the t-chart, just like we've been using for the other ones, all right? Okay, so if you have graphed your parabola, it should look something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so our parabola starts right there. That's our vertex. And I'm going to go 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you need to see it, what I'm doing, I'm here 1, 2, 3, down 9, right there. Okay. 2, 2, 2. I'm going to now draw this downward. Draw this downward. Okay. What is our axis of symmetry? Where can we cut this in half? I'm seeing right here at x is 2. X is 2. X is 2. X is 2. And then what about our y-intercept? Right here, where our parabola touches the y-axis. What is this value? Well, if you're saying, I'm not going anywhere for x, but I'm going to be at 1 for y, you'd be correct. All right, so I'm sure this is plenty of information for you guys for today. There is an exit ticket, so please go out and fill that out. It shouldn't take you more than 2 or 3 minutes to do. Turn that in, and then we will keep working on this vertex form starting tomorrow. Now, if you have a lot of time on your hands and you want to go ahead and get started with the homework, please ask for that, and you can go ahead and get started. But we'll keep working on this tomorrow.